Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's tutorial. And in today's tutorial we'll be learning how to make this beautiful blazer dress. So at this point I had not fixed my buttons, that's why you can see me making all these adjustments. So if this is something that you would like to learn, let's just get right into the tutorial. So the first thing we're going to do is to rule our shoulder line. You know, we always start with ruling our shoulder lines. So this is the back, and the back does not have any zipper. Bear that in mind. So we're just taking our shoulder to our bust points, under bust, waist length, and from the waist length, for tall people you can add 10 inch or 9 inches for your hip, and for shorter people you can just go ahead and add 8 inches, and from the 8 inches you can add any length that you want to add rather for your full dress length. So mine is short. I added I think 7 inches. That's what I added for mine. So if you want it to be longer than that, you can just take your measurements and decide what you're going to add. So this is just our basic bodice. Like I said, this is the back that I am drafting. So the reason why we're drafting the back first is because we'll be needing the round neck measurements for the back to complete our front. So that is why. So this is just a basic body that we do, shoulder to down to the length, and then our shoulder measurements, our armhole curve. Basically that's just everything I am doing here. So now we're taking our standard neckline. So for the back I took 3 inches wide and 2 inches depth. So if 1 inches or 1.5 is okay for you, it's completely fine. So that's what basically I am just doing at this point. So like I said, the back does not have, so don't keep a space for zipper. So we're just coming down with our 1 inch shoulder slope, because our shoulder isn't straight, so we're just making a slope. At this point I'm just taking my bust measurement divided by 4, and I'm making a curve down to the armhole. You can see at the armhole, you can see how it is. So we're just going to label so we don't get confused. Our chest line, bust line, waist, hip, and full length. So on the chest line down to the full length, we're just going to mark our nipple to nipple measurement. Your nipple, one nipple to the other divided by 2. That's what basically I am just doing here. The back isn't an issue, so even the front is not an issue. Please don't be scared. So now from the waist measurement line rather, we're just going to take 0.5 for our dart intake, and just watch the way I am taking the darts. On the hip length, you're just going to come up by 2 inch or 2.5 inches, because we do not want the dart to get to that point. So now the next thing we're going to do is, after taking our darts, we're just going to divide our shoulder slant into 2, just like so, and then we're just going to connect. This is for our back dart. So now on the waistline, we're going to come in by 0.5 or 0.25, because we want that back to be lap. 0.752 works perfectly fine, and we're just going to make the connection just like so. And like I said, the back does not have a zipper, so we're just going to take all our measurements divided by 4 plus the dart, our hip measurement divided by 4 plus our allowance. If you work perfectly with 2-inch sewing allowance, it's fine. If you work with 1.5, whichever allowance that works for you, it's completely fine. So you just try as much as possible not to make your hip to be very sharp. That's why you can see, and your waist length too to be sharp. And basically this is everything for the back. That's why I said the back isn't an issue. Please, you're going to draft your back first before you draft your front, because we'll need the neckline for it. So basically this is everything for the back. We're just going to rip out the dart, and that is it. It's really nothing difficult. Just take your time and do it. So now for the front, first of all, we're going to step down by 7 inch, and on the center front, we're going to come in by 6 inches or 7 inches, whichever that works for you. And then we're going to rule a line. This line that we are ruling is the line that is going to serve as our shoulder line. Remember, from the back, we had the line that was our starting line. So now when you step down by 7 inches, that's when you're going to get your starting line. Please don't skip the stepping down and from the top to the center front. So now what I'm doing now is from this shoulder line now, we're going to impute all our basic bodies just as we did for the back, which is our shoulder to our nipple point, our waistline, hip line, and the full length. We're not doing anything different here. And then we're going to come up by 2 inches just as we did for the back, which is going to serve as our chest line. I hope I am not confusing you guys. And then we're going to take our shoulder line just like so. I had to place it forward like this so you get to see what I am doing. And then we are going to impute our body measurement, and then I actually used the standard neckline, which is 3 to 3. So and then I step down by 1.5. If you want to step down by 1 inch, I step down actually by 1 inch. If you want to step down by 1.5, it's completely fine. And then another difference is for the front, like I actually divided, the shoulder line, and then the ample rather line, and then took the midpoint, and then came out rather by half inch, and then I made a curve. This is the normal thing that we do. So now I actually did the same nipple to nipple measurement. So that's the line I am taking all the way down. I hope it's clear at this point. And then at the hip line, I actually came up by 2 inch or 2.5 inch. The same thing exactly that we did at the back. At this point, it just the top difference and the center front difference, which we came down by 6 inch and 6.5 or 7 inches. So now at this point, the bust length, we're just going to come down by 1 inch, and the hip we came up by 2 inches or 2.5 inches. Then we're going to take our dart, which is half inch, just exactly as we did for the back. I really hope I am not confusing anybody. So just take your time, you're definitely going to understand it. If you remember, this was exactly what we did for the back. The difference now is the space at the center front and the space at the top. Please just follow with me, you will definitely understand it. And then the shoulder slant, was still going to divide that into two, just as we did for the back. And then we're just going to connect the line just like so. The aim of this is to get our front dart. I hope we are clear here. So now the next thing we are going to do is on the neckline, we are going to come in by 1.5, come out rather by 1.5 inches. You now see the reasons why we kept that line, right? So now the reason we are doing this, if you just want the jacket, come out by 1 inches. But if you want it to be inside, just as my gown is, that you can put button and your body will not be showing, you can come out by 1.5 inches. I hope you understand. If you're just making a jacket, 1 inch is okay for your button. But if you're making a dress and you want it to lap, please use 1.5 inches, so it's going to enter in very well, so you don't get to expose any part of your body. So the next thing we're going to do is to try to create a lapel. At this point, I actually used 15 inches. So now if you want to take it down to your waist length, it's fine. This lapel I'm talking about is the flap that is around the breast area. That flap there, it's the lapel. So you're just going to decide where you want your break to be. I actually used 15 inches, and that was basically under my bust. I didn't want it to go down. So for people who do not want it to go down like that, you can still come up whichever way that you want. This is where you are going to decide that. I hope you're getting it. So we're just going to make a line just like so, and then we're going to connect. You see the way I'm connecting it, not from the actual measurement, but this 1.5 inches that we came out with. You're just going to connect it just like so, straight. From the way it's looking, you can see that our lapel, our front collar is gradually coming out. So now to make this lapel to be wide, at this point now it's equal to the 1.5. So now we know we need to make a difference. Let that one be out compared to this other one. I hope you understand. So now we are going to come out by 1 inch just like so. Let the collar around the breast, let me use collar English, let the collar around the breast, let it be different. Now at this point, if you want that collar or lapel to be very big, you can now come out by 2 inches, 1.5 inch, it all depends on you. I don't know if you're gradually seeing what I am explaining. So now I hope we're clear at this point. So the next thing we are going to do is to create a bridge. The somewhere, if you notice on our jacket we used to have an opening. I'm just trying to use the simplest English so we don't get confused, because making a blazer is kind of complicated. So this is the part that is going to connect our collar to our lapel. If you can see on the suit, there's always an opening, most suits. So I actually came up by if you want to come up by 1 inch, it's fine. Zero half inches is completely fine, but I actually did 1 inch. So now this is where we introduce our back. So we're just going to check the wideness of the back, and at this point what I got was 3.5. So you can see the aim of drafting the back first. So now that back, now the next we're going to do is to place that 3.5 neckline, but you're just going to slant it just as I did, like so. Don't make it straight, just slant it. So it's going to follow this neck line. I don't know if you understand exactly how I placed my ruler. So you're just going to draw a line again, just like so, reaching that 3.5. So now at this point, you can now come in by 0.25 or half inches, or at all, even if you don't want to do that. This is just to make the collar to balance very well. But I feel 0.252 is completely okay, but I actually use half inches at this point. So now the next thing we are going to do, you see how I placed my tape. We are now going to determine how fat we want the collar to be. So I used 4 inches at this point, or 3.5 at this point. I think 3.5 at this point. So if you want to use 4 inches, it's completely fine. This basically determines how wide you want your collar to be. So you can see the next thing that I'm doing. You just make a curve at this point. If you want the curve to be a bit deeper than what I did, it's completely fine. And basically that's everything for the front drafting. I don't know if you really understand, but just take your time and watch the video. What I'm doing now is just to impute my body measurement. I was supposed to do this earlier, but I actually forgot rather. So that's just what I am doing. So creating a curve, and that's everything for our blazer dress. So now this line I'm actually eliminating out. We're going to take it out, so you can see how our collar and lapel looks like, and we're just going to label. Please take your time to look at how I am actually cutting this thing out, so you don't get to be confused. And I actually label center, front, and the side. So now you're just going to take the collar out, just like so. You can see how it is, and then you take this other part out, just like so, and then you divide on your shoulder. Basically that's everything. Taking out the dart there, and that is everything. If you take your time, I know it's a bit complicated, but just take your time. You can now see how it is. Just take your time. You're definitely going to understand. So now, if you want your material or whatever fabric you're using in front, or you want a different fabric to show in front, please, on the lining, that is what you are going to put. But me now, actually the Ankara is showing in front, so my Ankara was what I used for my main bodies and for my lining. I don't know if you understand, in front alone. And then for the back, I actually used a purple material, so you can just see the difference with what I am doing. So if you want another material to be showing on your collar, just as you see some things, Ankara will be the material and maybe the purple showing at the collar, make sure your lining is the purple. I didn't want this video to be so long, so I couldn't take my time to really explain. So basically that is what it's looking like. Please ignore the inches you are seeing there. My dress was very, very short. I had to add. So now on the front bodies, which is the lapel side, you are just going to add an estate to it. So this is just to make it to be hard. I don't know if you understand. And you're going to do the same for the collar too. This is just to make it to be hard. So now at this point, this is the center back in two. And then we're just going to put the side back just like so. I don't know, it's just our normal cutting of our drafted paper on the material. Then you're just going to join the center back together first, and then you join the sides together. And also for the front, this is what it looks like. like I said, the front, the lining and the main material are the same because I don't want another material showing there. Please, I hope you get this part. So this is what the front side looks like. So now you're just going to bring the side of it just like so and add on the side, just as, okay, let's say we are now trying to make a divided princess dart. So it's like joining one side, a princess that has zipper. So it's like joining one side to one side of the bustier and the other side to the other side of the bustier. I hope you really understand. You can see that it was only the center front of the front that I added that um este, but the sides I actually did not add. You can see how it is. So we're just going to join. This is we trying to close our dart. So you can see how it is at this point. I join it. So we're just going to bring the front bodies and the back bodies together and join, just as when we're joining our jackets. Please just take your time, you really understand it. So you can see how gradually blazer dress is coming out. So this is what it looks like after I've joined them together. You can see, please, whatever you are doing on the main bodies, please do the same thing on your lining. It's the same thing. I forgot to tell you that part. Like this, that you've joined it, you join it on your lining too, hand to hand. So this is me just trying to form a shoulder pad. So I used 5 inch wide and 3 inches height, just like so. And then you're going to place, if you have an already made one, it's completely fine. If you don't have, you can just use wording and you just do it and you just place it just like so. And basically that just it first. So after you do that, so you're just going to use an iron here and hold it down. So if iron does not hold it down when you're trying to join your sleeve, it's definitely going to hold down. So the next thing we're going to do is to join our collar. Please don't add the shoulder part to the lining. That's the only thing you're not going to add to your lining. So we're just going to put our collar just like so, and then we'll start, um, joining it round until we get to that divided part. So once you get to a part that is curved around your collar, you just pause there. So you're just going to join the collar. You see the straight part before you get to the curved part. Once you are joining it, you know where you're going to stop. You can see what I'm doing now. I'm gradually getting to the curved part just like so, and then you're just going to join to that part. I'm sorry that this part isn't showing. And like I said, whatever you're doing on your main material, you also do it on your lining. It's basically the same thing. And then after pinning to that end just like so, you're going to use your tape to check what is left, so you know what to leave at this other end. So if you're left with 2.5 inches at this first part that you actually joined, you are going to leave 2.5 inches at this other side. So one side will not be looking longer than the other side. I'm sorry it's not showing. I didn't know my hands were really up. So you're just going to take it just like so and pin. So now we're pinning so you don't get, it's not rough and one side is looking longer than one side is looking shorter than one side. Please just take your time. There's no award for people who finished fast. So after doing that, you can now see what my own lining is looking like and what my own main material is looking like. And if you're using a sleeve for this, you're still going to join a sleeve. I actually did not use a long sleeve. That's why you're not seeing me joining it. So you're still going to join your sleeve. So you can see me trying to join collar to collar. That's why I said whatever you are doing on the main bodies, you are going to do it also for the lining. So you're just going to connect, trying to join edge to edge, just like so. You can see how it is. So this thing I'm doing here is just to create an opening on the lining. So the reason why I'm creating an opening is because after you close every part, you need, a space to actually open. So now I want to join the first joining, so I'll show to you people. So I'm going to join down to my break, which was 15 inches. If you remember the end of my lapel, which was 15 inches. So from that 15 inches, now I'm just going to stitch all the way round. So now for the X parts, it's possible you can just, stitch from down all the way around, but I just want to show you guys how it's looking. I didn't know at this point that my, recorder isn't record my phone isn't recording very well. So this is what it looks like. You're just going to make your notches, you're just going to trim out the excesses. So you're making a notch here and there, and trimming properly, so when you turn over and you iron, everything is going to lap very well. So this is what it looks like. So I'm just trying to trim out one or two. And after doing that, please take your time here and be careful. If you're not careful enough, before you know, you are going to rip it off. So we're just going to turn over so you see what it's looking like. Take your time. You can see how it's looking like. I've given it a very good press, and you can see that our jacket is gradually out without forcing it. You can see how it is, and you can see how the inside is too as well. So we're just going to flip back again to the wrong side. And mind you, I forgot to say, if you're joining the lining and the main material, you're going to join right side facing right side. Please don't forget that. So the next thing we're going to do is, from where we stopped joining, we're just going to join round. You can now see how it is. You can see how neatly sewn this is. So basically, that's just everything. Like I said, if you're attaching a sleeve, you're just still going to attach the sleeve just as we are now, attaching. But because I use the short sleeve and a balloon hand, and if you want your balloon hand to be structured, you can add and a stay to it. This was a cheap material, so that's why probably it's not standing very well. And basically, that's just everything for this tutorial. So just take your time and you will understand it. So it's one step at a time. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this tutorial. Bye for now.